Hi, this is Dr. Justina Agnieszka Chevalier. I am going to start with description here of physiologic and mental changes that occur when wanted sexual partner or potentially wanted appears or approaches from the distance to proximity that is enough to pursue sexual activity, which causes thrill, that is wanted stress, and that thrill is a replacement for all amphetamines and does not compare to it. That also is true for all that is coffee and other stimulants, and makes all of these seem like water, and cures especially prepubertal, pubertal, and adults in ages humans of that in impression of not being able to sit still or not being able to pursue a given intellectual activity and level of concentration that is impeding pursuit of own family and emancipation to gain necessary basic skills to provide shelter, food, and basic needs for self and potential parent of that child that is wanted, and is based on a strong urge to pursue sex, that is sexual drive, or sexual surrender, so called, which is withdrawn from medical arts and consists of changes that are pathologized as often as stupidity. There's no need to ask persons to be stupid or fake it. What is that inattentive, for instance, ADHD? That is a state in which a person, because one, it has to be actually one to enable sexual act, one but sometimes non-consciented, meaning there are many others who consider that person or somebody else to form a lifelong sexual relationship. And so the person who stands up and is trained to speak or perform certain activities falls or is unable to generate speech, has muscles of mouth relaxed, and a voice is difficult to produce, has tightness in the neck, sometimes fear occurs, so protruding eyes when there are other persons of same gender, and that person also has preferences to sexual partner, so does not know if that person should escape to avoid being accused of cheating or pursuit of a child by that person that is unwanted, or should relax, and when pursued by the right wanted person, what does that mean? It means person preparation, sexual drive, and sexual surrender causes delight and own arousal. That is the right person, nothing more. The other criteria, meaning in function of one another, there's highest synchronous preparation of body and mind for pleasurable sexual act. That's it. There's no curriculum or applying to make that happen. That is the appropriate person, as opposed to all others, because in space to approaching there's only one uterus and one vagina and one penis. The others cannot have that sexual act leading to possessive love that is necessary to attachment and pregnancy and provision of basic needs as family for self, if the other cannot do so for the other in reciprocity. That's how it works, and that child. And so that is why all the others then create fear, or when approached, if there is reciprocity enough to create exclusive wanted relationship by pleasure, degree of perceived experience and remembered pleasure, the others are fought, which is the essence of aggressive behavior also towards parents. So again, stupidity is from physiologic sexual surrender caused by being pursued by person who is always, there's no lying about it, in a similar state, just delaying pursuit of sexual act, and that person causes that the other one ceases to perform at maximum level, and the other one is enabled to replace in compatible way in couples even as prepubertal or children. And that is when that is not realized, that reciprocity, source of unfair competition and accusations. Did you lie to me? Did you try to seduce me and then embarrass me and reject me to gain better grades or better jobs or etc.? And the answer is no, because these are non-conscious physiologic changes for all. And the only difference is that persons do not pursue that relationship, because reciprocity in medical arts, where human is observed as if it was a computer or as if I see myself on a screen, it is not realized. So unlike social psychology, we don't speak about cause effect, cause being the other person, and vice versa, cause being self to the other person, which is, when noted, source of self-esteem, while modesty is source of modesty is need for reciprocity. That's it. And so slurred speech, for instance, is from sexual arousal caused by ideal loved partner, non-consciated as such. Slurred speech that is derived from alcohol makes only for alcohol an excuse, pathologized one, to remove that physiologic change, to kiss in fact a person, or to be aroused by view or sight of lips of that person, and that is also to create pleasure, to have shared perception of taste, or compatible one if there is scarcity of products. So for instance, if there's sugar and peanuts and there's not enough for two in couple, one person will exclude in taste buds enjoyment of tried sugar and enjoy trying only the salty peanuts, so that the other one can have sugar and that one can have peanuts. And that is, in terms of social eating, first in union of sexual nature based on primal instinct of two. And what is the indicator of ideal couple? Pleasure, meaning changes to prepare for sexual act observed in the other person cause delight as first response, as feedback, and second one, the same sexual arousal and changes to prepare for that act in the other person, as opposed to all the rest. And so in medicine, that slurred speech, if we stop pathologizing it, is in fact endearing, because the other person can speak for the other as if spouse, sharing similar goals, and that is how it occurs. To spurs, for instance, vocal cords of someone. That's one example. Second example is falling. For instance, if a person carries a heavy bag and there is a potential to form a family unit, in adult intimacy, a person experiences a relaxation of even major muscles and muscle groups and is unable to carry that prior possible to carry heavy lift, and then the other person has urge to assist in function of couples, and that creates family unit that is not necessary to become a family unit, but it is possible and wanted to happen when there is pleasure and love that is consciented in society and taught as such, and not a priori, in absence of death threat or major disasters, when fight or flight response enables work, enables education to others, as opposed to sexual arousal or love, even though that may exist on the back of the head, pushing it to subconscious. That is what sublimation is, and occurs naturally per need. When that situation is over, also putting basic needs aside on once, then the person is able again to experience pleasure and experience embarrassment that is in form of shyness. Shy is a person observed by the other in fear if that other person feels the same way about that other person. or if that person's joy and sexual arousal from seeing that person in such state caused by the other is something to delight upon. And giving them drugs, and above all lying and non-recognition, because books are distorted, medical books especially, to teach medical students, residents and practitioners to medicate and pathologize love, sexual surrender, sexual arousal, as well as disguise reciprocity, as if a human was not a social, heard in function of others' being, but as some observed on a petri dish microorganism. And that is not the way to teach medicine.